Welcome to our new series, The 200 Movie Challenge. Our goal this year is to watch 200 movies that we haven't seen yet. If you want to listen to the full podcast where this clip is from, the link will be in the description. Now enjoy today's movie.
I really haven't watched a lot of movies in this franchise like you were just saying. I've seen the first one. And the movie that I'm talking about is the Friday the 13th movie series. Seen the first one a long time ago, but I grew up a fucking Nightmare on Elm Street kid. I didn't watch this shit. If I did watch, the closest I watched to Jason was Michael Myers and Halloween. I watched those to a point because then they got kind of dumb. But I never was a Jason kid. Never was. Friday the 13th, I mean, obviously the iconic look of Jason is undeniable, but I never got into those movies. And so when I saw that Friday the 13th 2 was available streaming for free, and I can't remember where I saw it. I may have seen it on HBO. I'm not sure. But, I said, fuck it. Might as well tick that off and see what's going on with that. Let's see how this lore begins. And I don't think I have to fucking explain Friday the 13th's plot here to anybody. I don't think that that's necessary.
Nope.
If you haven't seen Friday the 13th, check it out. If you don't understand Jason, check it out. But I just have to tell you, and I have to ask you, what the fuck is this movie?
So it's been
this movie was fucking dumb.
So I grew up both a Freddy and Jason fan. I saw a lot of the movies. I believe it or not, Michael Myers and Leatherface, not so much. I think that more came later on in life. But growing up, I was definitely Jason and Freddy. I think I've seen all their movies. I know we're going to talk again this Saturday about franchises as a whole. So getting to Friday the 13th Part 2, fuck it. We all know the end of the first one. That Jason's not killing the first one. It's the mom. There's
sorry. Sorry, everyone.
You're like 40 years too late, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But and if you really think through, how did the mom? Anyhow, whatever. Again, in the 80s, these are the kind of movies they make. But yeah, then they introduced it as Jason as a killer, and he's become now this iconic killer, one of the top. We kind of talked about Mount Rushmore. Just people just recognize him. Now, as far as the quality of movies, well, this is where again, I think we're gonna have some fun this Saturday because I have a lot of questions, but I don't. Right now, we're on the second one. Yeah, no, it is crap, and I will. And you asked me now. My question to you is: do you plan on watching any more? Because how far do you?
Yes, I do.
So here's what I will say to you, and here's the interesting thing, which you may or may probably don't know because you didn't follow. You don't know much about the weird lore. Friday the 13th Part 2, 3, and 4, which is called the final chapter, all take place.
Final chapter?
Well, I'll explain that in a second. But 2, 3, and 4 all take place back to back to back. It all takes place in 1 week. So the events of 3 happen right after. So it is all in one timeline. And I don't want to spoil it. So yeah, 2 is kind of the introduction to Jason. He has the bag hat head over.
That one.
One of the more popular, I say popular, in this franchise, better final girls, because she uses a different reasoning to try to defeat Jason at the end, as corny as it is. So I'm going to just say this right now, and I know the third one is worse. And yes, you already know he gets the mask in the third one. And I actually met the actor, or not met. I played a game. I shouldn't say met. I played a game with the actor who. The reason Jason got the mask. And I will say this, Friday the 13th Part 3, you're going to probably mock more because it was shot in 3D. Because that came out in a time when everything was about 3D. So you're going to see shots and you're like, it's going to look bad because you're not watching it in 3D. And the story is bad. I only remember a couple things. But the fourth one, which was the final chapter, it was supposed to be the end. And then, but it kind of, that to me is the best Friday the 13th film. It's got Corey Feldman. It's got Crispin Glover.
What the fuck?
Corey Feldman is he plays Tommy Jarvis. And anyone that knows Friday the 13th, Tommy Jarvis is in a few films, kind of, I guess, Jason's biggest nemesis at that time. And I'm going to talk a lot more about this Saturday, Soto. I mean, I don't want to try and spoil things for you. But 4 had the budget because they thought this was going to be the end. Then they come up with 5. Now, I'm going to spoil 5 for you. Why? Because 5 is So you mentioned you remember Halloween 3? Season of the Witch?
Yeah. Yes,
Michael
which is
Myers
like
was,
its own thing.
that's what 5 is. Jason's not in 5. The lore of Jason still being alive is in 5, but Jason's not in 5. You think it's Jason this whole
Wow.
time, but it turns out just to be a regular person. A lot. That's why that's kind of considered the worst. And then in the weird way, 6 and beyond, he becomes like a zombified. He accidentally comes back to life, and those are even shittier. 6 isn't bad. 7, a very intriguing final girl because she has telekinesis powers, and 8, Jason Takes Manhattan, and 9, two of the worst ones. It's Jason in space. It's just fucking hilarious, because
I
obviously,
think I saw Jason in Space. I think I saw that one.
that
Yep, I
that
did.
stands
I
on its
definitely
own.
saw that one.
So my suggest watch as many as you want, but if you're going to go, at least get to 4 is all I'm saying. Because 3, Soto. Now going back to 2, you're right. I don't remember shit about 2, and again, it's been a while. I know his look. I know the final girl, the mom's head, all that stuff. It's bad, and I'm going to tell you right now, Soto. 3 is worse than 2. And I'm just preparing you. You just need to get to 4. Once you're
Cool.
done 4, you make that decision. Okay. And
I mean, the Corey Feldman part sounds intriguing. So
he's
you had me at
he's one
Corey
of the main characters. Crispin Glover is more of a side character, but there's an iconic Crispin Glover moment that I do now. If you don't know it, like if you haven't seen the memes or the TikToks, not that you would, you'll know. So at least to get to 4. After that, I would say you're fine. Because you've seen Jason in Space. That's the only that because to me that is the true end. And a lot of fans, a lot of people will say 1's the best, but to me, I think 4 just had the better overall story, better overall characters. They were more obviously like we compare Terrifier 2 to 1, like better acting.
Yeah.
So you can tell most of the money went to 4, but 2, you just found it. So there's my rant to start things off. At least get to 4, but 2, Soto, I agree with you. It's the start of Jason, but it is. These movies are meant to be dog shit, and I don't know what's more to say to that. So
They won that award
yeah,
because that was some bulldog. I mean, it wasn't like unwatchable. Okay, I've seen some unwatchable movies this year.
mm-hmm.
It just was kind of like, wait, this is it. And so I probably will watch 3 because now I kind of want to get to 4. I don't know. I just thought Freddy Krueger was much more of terrifying. Freddy Krueger talks,
Correct.
unlike Mike Myers and Jason.
Yeah.
Like Freddy Krueger is like psychologically like horrifying as well. So I don't know. I mean, I just didn't find like again it was the camp counselors and they get killed again, and there's a lot of odd nudity in this one too because I get it. It's an 80s slasher movie.
Yeah.
But at the end of it, I was kind of like, huh?
Yeah.
So, but anyway, that won't stop me from watching shit.
No, and I that's what I think I didn't want to say too much when you were texting me. I'm like, if you're gonna go down this road, at least get to 4. And we're gonna talk a lot about the Freddy and Jason movies, probably more so Saturday, because I do have opinions about a lot of Freddy movies. And I know so it'll be a fun debate. But you know what? This is about your enjoyment too. And by this now I gotta ask you before you kind of get to the ranking. Because I know I kind of took over just because I know a lot about Jay. I've watched all the multiple times before.
I'm glad you did.
Is there one memorable thing from this movie that you just like, or is it just all this movie is kind of typical for you, like a typical 80s horror?
When the two teenagers where they were fucking on the bed, and then he like harpooned both of them into the bed.
Mm-hmm.
That was memorable. Also, the guy in the wheelchair getting machete to the face.
Oh, that was this one. Yeah, I remember that now. Now that you said, I just didn't know what movie. They all blend together.
That was memorable. I'm sure they do.
So I do. Once you said that, I remember that kill now. I 100% remember that kill. Both of them actually, but that one.
Like his mother's head. His mother's head was like in his little like shack, and the girl put on the sweater, and it's just weird.
Yeah, the psychology part was weird. I mean, it's all.
Yeah, and I mean, save the psychology for Michael Myers. I love the thing about Michael Myers is that he's just purely a psychopath. Like he does. You're not going to negotiate your way out of it. You're not going to do anything. He's just going to kill you. I guess Jason is the same way, but yeah, no, this not a great movie. So I guess you're probably wondering, where do I rank this?
Yeah, that's why we're here. This is your 84th movie. I'm glad I didn't want this to deter you. I just want you to get to 4. Mainly because there's a couple I want to talk about a couple things. And yes, Corey Feldman, it's, again, to me, And I don't, I mean, people can. Jason in space was just more fun and whatever, but to me, 4 is the best one. I'm not saying it's going to change the world. I'm not going to say it's better than like Halloween or some of the on Elm Streets. I almost said
Yeah,
Nightmare Before Christmas, but that's a different kind of movie. But
yeah.
in
Last
the
week's
in the
episode.
Friday the 13th series, I would say
Yeah.
4 is the best one, and I'm just going to leave it at that. So at least get the 4. After that, that's up to you, dude. You're not missing much, but it would get lower and lower, and you would question your sanity. But yes, where are we putting
I
part
mean,
2?
I do love that I have Slaughterhouse over Oppenheimer. That makes me laugh when I look at that. That's just insane. I mean, I'd probably watch this movie again, as bad as it is. Um, so I would say, man, you're gonna laugh at me.
They're all gonna laugh
Great
at
place
you.
for me. Because these are the movies I won't ever see again. So that's why I have these in kind of this order. Um, I would put this honestly at number 59.
All right, so underneath Insidious Chapter 3 and above Sing. You
Yeah.
know what, that's not a no, honestly, that's not too bad of a ranking. Because it
No, I mean it's not great, but I mean it's not like there are other movies that are not great, and I've seen a lot of them. I mean, I can't put Insidious, The Fred Door, and Last Key over this. Come on, those movies I'd never want to see again. But like, if you and I are hanging out, in one of our home theaters that we build, and you're like, hey, you want to have a couple beers and watch Friday the 13th Part 2? I'm not going to say no.
No, I agree. And like I said, I remember when I started the Blockbuster at Spitbrook Road. I think that's when I really rented. I think that's when I finished them all. Just kind of on DVD.
Mhm.
The DVD said, and I kind of rewatched them and kind of stuck in my brain. I've seen a few more since. Some I will never watch again, and we'll get to that a little bit more. So
You just know which movies you'll never watch again. You just when you're watching it, you just know I'm never gonna watch this movie again. Like I will never ever watch Prisoners of the Ghostland ever again in my entire life. Same could be probably said for Hubie Halloween too.